Shavua Tov, Gute Woch. I'm going to tell story number 162 of the Shivchei of Shem Tov, the oldest source of Baal Shem Tov stories. Tonight's story doesn't touch the Baal Shem Tov himself, but one of his Hasidim, Rabbi Yechiel of Kovle, known to be a special tzaddik, able to see things in a special way. And I must warn, as tonight's story touches a very sensible subject. Give a warning before I tell the story. This is a Maisa, this is a story that happened when Rabbi Yechiel of Kovle. The story is the refusal of Rabbi Yechiel of Kovle to be Sandak. To be Sandak is to be the one who holds the baby during a circumcision, to be like a godfather of the bris milah, of the circumcision. So this story happened when Rabbi Yechiel of Kovle was the Bezdin, the head of the Bezdin of the community of Horotna. And there was a bris milah, a circumcision. And he refused to be Sandak. He did not want to be. They insisted a lot. Please, please be a Sandak for our child. Until he said that the baby was mamzer, meaning he was illegitimate. The baby was born when the mother was conceived when the mother was already married to the father, and yet the biological father was another man. He was able to see that mark in the baby. The Baal bris, the father of the baby that was to be circumcised, he was a man of a good known family, and the family heard these words and they were yelling, and there was a big tumult in the synagogue, in the shul. So the Rabbi Yechiel, said to his shamish, to his assistant, take my walking stick and go show it to the mother. When she sees it, she will immediately confess, and if she doesn't, she will die. An explanation here, all he's doing is showing it to her. I think there was a story a year ago I told, when the Baal Shem Tov shows a stick to a woman, and there is no threat. We're not going to do something to the woman with a stick, but by seeing it in the spiritual sense, we're breaking the vessel. There is a vessel that has become impure, and the only way to fix it is by breaking it. So by showing the stick, the wooden stick, we are spiritually, ruchnis, we're breaking that vessel. That's we're fixing a spiritual fault that cannot otherwise be fixed. So then the woman goes immediately into confession, embarrassed, and she says that she had been forced when she went to the basement to bring some wine. A certain man followed her and forced her. This is what the way they describe is what happened. I said this was going to be a very touchy subject. When the members of the family, of the father, heard this, they were left mute. They were left in silence. And this is the story. The explanation of what happens with the stick is mine, but the story is really shocking. Basically, it's a heavy teaching on the concept of judgment, as the family were jumping to judgment. Does a rabbi really see it? This woman, this daughter-in-law of ours, did she do such a thing? And now that they learned the real story, they were left speechless. This is probably the heaviest of all the stories in the book. But I'm telling all the stories of the Shivchei of Shem Tov one by one, and translating them, telling the stories here in the channel. One video in Spanish, the next video one video in English, the next video in Spanish, as well as working the translation of the entire book, the Shivchei of Shem Tov, from the original in Hebrew to Spanish, with the hopes to publish it this year, this Jewish year, I should make clear. So Bezrat Hashem, I'll have it published, and contributions to my efforts, please see links below. Blessings to everyone. Shavua Tov. A Gute Woch.